My
Yes.
next question is, I also read the book. The eighth tip is about a 2 second rule. You want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about this 2 second rule?
Yeah. 2 second rule is a very important element in driving in expressways. This is to keep your distance. How much a distance that you should keep from the vehicle in front of you. Why? You need time to apply brakes. Few seconds would make an accident or no accident. Therefore, it's very important that you have a safer distance. It is very difficult to let a person know in meters how many meters that you should have. It
Yes.
depends on the speed of the vehicle in front of you and the speed of your own vehicle, the distance. So, how do you do that? There's a simple rule of thumb that is called 2 second rule. What is 2 second rule? Choose a fixed point on the road and wait until the vehicle in front passes that fixed point, maybe a lamp post, maybe a bridge. Then count 2 seconds. You can count 2 seconds in this form: 1001, 1001, right? That is 2 seconds. So as soon as that vehicle passes this particular post or the bridge, start counting 1001, 1001. If you arrive before counting this 2 seconds at that post, you are close,
Too
right?
close.
Too close, right? If you don't arrive or you are just there, then you are keeping the exact
Safe.
proper distance. I think sometimes even 3 seconds may be okay in Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They say about 2 seconds, but I prefer even to have a longer distance,
Please.
because longer the distance, lesser the probability of having an accident. So that's a very important one. Most of us don't really practice in this country.
Okay. So, one of my personal experiences, you're talking about the distance between the two vehicles. Sometimes those vehicles who overtake you, they overtake you
Hmm.
by keeping a safe distance, and they enter the lane in front of me by almost touching my vehicle.
That's right. That's right.
You want to say something about that?
Yeah, yeah, that is something happening all over the world, I think. If that happens, the best thing that you can do is not to hoot and shout at him, right?
Yes.
Let him go. Let him go, and you keep again the distance. There's no other
Yeah.
alternative, right? But you, as a driver, you shouldn't do that. If you are overtaking a vehicle, you must keep that safer distance and enter into the left lane again, rather than entering as soon as you overtake the vehicle. So that's again a good tip on both sides. If the driver comes and takes the distance that you have been keeping, then you let him go and again have the distance as per the 2 second rule. And if you are overtaking, please keep that distance before you enter into the
Left
left
lane.
lane
Yeah.
again. Yeah, yeah. That's again important, very important in expressway driving.
Kids in the front seat. Uh, I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, again, this is a very important element in driving on the highways or the expressways. You should not take children or the toddlers or little kids who cannot be secured by the seat belts. Seat belts are not for small kids and toddlers. They cannot be secured because the way that the belt is put, right, it won't hold. I assume that you are having a kid on your lap. Sometimes I have seen most of the parents take children on their lap. The wife sits on the the left side,
Left
and the
side.
husband drives on and keeps. You usually do that because you want to keep your child with you, but that's very dangerous. If you may be wearing the seat belt, but you are not, your son or daughter, the small kid is not wearing. Assume that you meet with an accident. Definitely, there's a chance that your kid would go onto the end screen. So therefore, in most of the developed countries who use expressways have a regulation. If you take a child or a toddler in the front seat in USA, you are charged, I think, $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Right? Therefore, all what you have to do is there is a specially made baby seats, seats that you can buy from the market. So you have to use one of those and keep your child on the rear seat. So that special baby seat can be securely inserted in the seat belt or the rear seat. So that your child is secured there. Even an accident takes place, yeah, he's seated on the other side, so nothing happens. So if you can show this particular, I have a cartoon. I drew cartoon characters in order to show the importance of these tips that I have written.
Let me share the screen and see. I want you to explain each one. I hope you can see the screen.
Yeah, this is the first one that we wanted to show. Check basically the engine and the rest of the features of the vehicle. Most important features, as we were discussing about the signals, whether you have petrols. Very very important that you have to check whether you have petrol, enough petrol to go to the destiny. And also another very important thing, that I had to rescue one of the drivers, the money to pay for the toll. Now, one day
Oh,
when I was going to Katunayaga, and this guy was going to Katunayaga, he's trying to catch a plane, and he didn't have money to pay the toll fee at the Katunayaga gate, and we were lined up behind him. Then luckily, I thought something wrong. I went there and found out he doesn't have money, so he had to give his identity card and so much of procedures. And I said how much? It was about 200 or 150 rupees. So I paid him and asked him to pay and go. Otherwise, he would have even missed the plane. It's
okay.
very important that you have
So
the toll fee. At least the toll fee should be there. Sometimes you don't know whether your kids take your money when they go to school. They go to your wallet and they take money. You don't, if you don't check it, sometimes you don't find money inside your wallet. So it's very important that you check whether you have enough money to pay the toll. Otherwise, there's a long procedure and it might take time, and it's very cumbersome. And therefore, please check. In addition to checking the condition of the vehicle, which is very important, check that you have petrol
enough
or
fuel, and
fuel,
then
and also enough money in your wallet, so that you would be able to pay the that is why I have shown this. I have a separate cartoon for checking the wallet, but it is not there. But at least
yeah.
uh, um, in the book
So
it's
I'll take you
explained.
to the second picture, the 2 second rule that we
Yeah,
talked about.
yeah, 2 second rule. If you see that, you will have to see, check the car in front passing a fixed object. Here I have shown a lamppost. As soon as that car passes the lamppost, you have to count for 2 seconds. 1001 and 1001. If you reach that lamppost before you count 2 seconds, you are too close. If you don't reach, then you are keeping the distance. So it is 2 seconds. Sometimes some guys say even 3 seconds would be fine in road conditions, especially if the condition of the road is slippery. You may have to keep a longer distance to avoid an
Yeah.
accident in an emergency.
So the next picture is about. You said to check whether there's enough fuel. It looks like this gentleman is taking enough fuel.
If you drink and drive, this is in general. If you drink and drive in any road, you are heading for disaster. Most of us think that drink and drive should not do because the police is there to catch us, and there is a penalty, maybe 25,000 bucks and 3 months suspension of your license itself. It
Yeah.
is not the main most important part. The most important part is, if you meet with an accident, if you drink and drive, you don't have sense, so you lose your judgment. Then you make an
True.
accident, then your life is at stake, the most important. Then someone else's life is at stake. The other important thing is the cost of a drink and drive accident would go into millions, because you meet with an accident and you are found drunk, your insurance will not take up the bill. They will not pay you a cent for your vehicle as well as for the other vehicle. All you have to pay on your own. That's the most dangerous thing as to your budget, or if you're talking about money, not the money that you're going to pay to the police or to the government, but the money that you would be spending on repairing your vehicle and also repairing someone else's vehicle or some other property. And if you meet with an accident, a person get injured or a person dies, then the cost is going to be very, very high. There's no limit. So therefore you may have to sell your properties, and you may have to sell put all your savings in order to save from this lawsuit. Therefore it's very important that you don't drink and drive. If you want to drink, assume that we drink, I also drink, but if I'm going for a party, definitely I will use
A
uh,
taxi.
taxi there, because there are so many taxis now. It's there in your um, phone applications. It's very easy to book a taxi and go. That is very safe, and you save a lot of money, and you can enjoy a party. Don't drink more anyway, but some guys drink more when you come on a vehicle. But don't do that. But enjoy yourself. Drink
Yeah.
responsibly wherever you go, whether you are on a taxi or whether you're for driving. No drinking, but even you go on a taxi, drive, drink responsibly. That's very important.
Yeah. So we have this picture. That looks very normal. Can you explain about this picture? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
taking these pictures in order to drive a point from your very book.
yeah. Especially this picture, I wanted to have this because in Sri Lanka, when we are changing lanes is a very important task in on the expressways. Usually, when you change lane, you need to see the rear mirror. Rear mirror is very important. Then you also have to see the side mirror. But on the rear mirror and side mirror, you may not see everything behind. There is something called a blind spot that you don't see on all those mirrors, two mirrors. So the blind spot can be seen only by putting your shoulder. Just see from your shoulder, just put your shoulder, turn your shoulder, then you see the blind spot, right? So to see the blind spot, you need to do that, putting your shoulder, turning your shoulder and see. So signal, how do you change the lane? First is the signal. You have to put the signal, rear view mirror, then the side mirror, then the blind spot. You, if you want to put it on a small acronym, you could say SMMS. S is signal, rear mirror, that is mirror, then side mirror, then the blind spot. So SMMS, like MM, we have SMS. So put one more S to see the blind spot. Some of the new vehicles, they have the blind spot also indicated by a lamp. But anyway, it's always better you have a physical uh, look as well about the blind spot. So that is why
Yeah.
I have put this on this in explaining how you make lane changes. Lane changes are so important.
This is very important. Thank you
Yeah,
very
those
much.
are some of the areas where you meet accidents.
Yeah, I mean, this is an area where someone could easily ignore this.